What's up, everybody? This is Gerge Brooms, and this is From the Top Rope. This is my very first wrestling podcast. I've been talking about doing one of these for a long time, talking about doing podcasts in general, and I can't believe I'm actually sitting here in front of my ring light, in front of you, with my microphone and my pops and my notes, and I'm ready to talk Hell in a Cell 2020. It's happening tomorrow night. And I'm very much looking forward to it. So real quick, before we kick into the show, let's talk about our sponsors. Our sponsors today, first off, Bath AF. That is Bath AF. Bath bombs for everyone. Guys, listen up. You're looking for a gift for your girlfriend, your wife, your mother, your sister, whoever. Bath AF is where it's at. And they're not just for women. Baths are fantastic. Whether it's from a long day at work or you just worked out and you're super exhausted, check out I Love Bath AF on Instagram. That's again at I Love Bath AF. Get yourself some bath bombs, take a soak, and treat yourself. Also, we are sponsored by Twin Hippo Designs. Twin Hippo Designs on Instagram. Little cute stationery gifts and simple designs for simple things. Simple designs for lovers of simple things. Really cool shop on Etsy too. Both Bath AF and Twin Hippo Designs on Instagram and on Etsy. You can find I Love Bath AF and at Twin Hippo Designs on Instagram. Look up both of them on Etsy. Now, let's talk Hell in a Cell 2020. So, what a crazy year has been, and I can't believe they're going to shove a Hell in a Cell into the Thunderdome. I'm super glad that it's not in the Performance Center. So, let's talk about the cards so far. As of right now, I've got 5 cards. I'm assuming all of them on the main show. I don't know if they're going to add something on the pre-show. Maybe something with Shorty G or Chad Gable now after SmackDown. Maybe they'll add something in. But as of right now, there's only 5 matches. So what we're going to do is we're going to run down the matches real quick. But we're going to run down the matches not as how I see they'll be on the card, but kind of like what I feel like their level of predictability is and maybe their level of weight with the story, in my opinion. Right? So here we go. First off, as a result of last night's SmackDown, we have Otis versus The Miz. Singles match to see who gets the Money in the Bank briefcase. So here we go. First things, what I love about this match or about this story is Otis. Otis is fantastic. I personally think Otis should keep the Money in the Bank, and let's talk about what I don't love about this. What I hate about this is the fact that they're trying to take the Money in the Bank briefcase off of him in the first place. I thought the whole courtroom stuff last night on SmackDown was weird and it's corny, and I don't really like it. I heard that Vince McMahon is a big fan of Otis, so he's not looking to try to take the briefcase off him. But so I don't know really where this is going to go, but I kind of can take a guess. And what I hope happens, and I hope that Otis keeps the Money in the Bank. And I'm going to give you kind of a spoiler for the rest of the episode. I think Otis is going to cash in at Hell in a Cell. We'll get into who he's going to cash in on later on in the show, but I predict that Otis walks out keeping his Money in the Bank briefcase. So the next one, kind of thrown together this last Monday night, Jeff Hardy versus Elias. Let me tell you what I love about the story. I love Elias. Okay, I think he's a fantastic character. I think back in like 2018 when he was kind of just showing up with his guitar and trashing the cities and trashing his opponents. It was fantastic. I think everyone can remember whenever him and Kevin Owens, they bashed, I can't remember, I think they're in Seattle, and they bashed the local basketball team, and they got booed for like 6 minutes. That stuff is fantastic. That's the Elias I want. Obviously, in a virtual environment inside the Thunderdome, we really don't have the fans. We have the fake pumped-in noise, but I still love Elias. What I really hate about the match is that it was kind of just thrown together. It just happened on Monday. Jeff Hardy just kind of showed up. I know they tried to connect it to some car stuff a while back, and all that's SmackDown is really good, but SmackDown hasn't always been really good. It has some corny storylines, and this is one of those corny storylines that I don't want to see kind of carried on. My prediction for the match is Elias is going to win. It seems kind of silly to have him have the Rock concert, and I think his album comes out on Monday too. It'd be kind of silly to make him lose. If he doesn't win, I see it going to some kind of weird non-finish where they both look protected and they both still look strong. Or they both look weak, depending on how they end up playing it out. Sometimes WWE is not the most subtle company in the world, and so this could potentially be kind of funky. All right, so people are going to probably disagree with me by bringing this on third, but I'm bringing it on third because I want to talk about the matches that are more predictable first and the kind of more not predictable or kind of more game changers later on in the night. So I don't think this is going to be third on the card, but Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. And I want to talk about this because I think it's pretty predictable. I think we all know that Roman Reigns is going to win at the end of this. I'm going to tell you what I love about this match. First off, this storyline is fantastic. That real, genuine heat between the two is fantastic. You can tell that they respect each other kind of off camera because of the way they put in the work and the emotion they put into it and the way they put it into it is fantastic. The big stipulation, it's a Hell in a Cell match it's an I Quit match inside of a Hell in a Cell match. The stipulation that was brought up on Friday night on SmackDown was if Jey loses, him and his family are removed from this amazing Samoan wrestling family dynasty. Unless Jey acknowledges him as the tribal chief. Let me tell you what I hate about this before moving on to my predictions. I don't hate anything about it. I think it's fantastic. And I think you guys can probably see the little fly that's kind of zooming around the studio here. Just roll with it. It's my first time setting up. It's really attracted to my ring light. So if you guys see the fly swing by, just hit a like down at the bottom. But my prediction is, obviously, I think we all can agree that Roman Reigns is going to win. But I don't think Jey's going to acknowledge him as a tribal chief. I don't think that's going to happen. I think that's what's going to really be the heart of the story and really what's going to be the emotional tug. So Roman Reigns for the win, still Universal Champion, but Jey's going to hold off on referring to him as the tribal chief. All right. Let's talk about this match. The WWE Championship match, Drew McIntyre versus Randy Orton again. Number 3, right? With some weird kind of Raw matches and stuff coming up. They're inside Hell in a Cell, whatever. Randy Orton in another Hell in a Cell match. It's fine. Let me tell you what I love about the match. What I love is it should be a good match. Randy Orton matches are really slow and can be kind of boring at sometimes, but I think Drew McIntyre can be electric enough. I really would love to see some Claymores and some RKOs out of nowhere in this match. Obviously, using the cell is right there, using the cell as an advantage. What I hate is the fact that we're seeing it again. The ambulance match at, what was that, Clash of Champions, I felt was super definitive. That was it. That was the end of the story. And I know they kind of brought in all the legends, and that was weird, and Ric Flair driving the ambulance. So Randy Orton feels cheated, so therefore he has to get his rematch in, even though it's what. But let me tell you what I think is happening. I think that this is all being done to drop the title. Drew McIntyre is going to drop the title to Randy Orton, and I think two things. I think they want Drew to win the title when there's crowds back. They want to give him the WrestleMania moment that he never got, and I think what they're going to do is give Randy Orton the title here and set Drew up for a path to one day, maybe not at WrestleMania, but at some time, get him a true win in front of the crowd. Kind of sort of what they did last year with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins won kind of that BS match at WrestleMania where it was like the first on the card, and Brock Lesnar apparently had heat that he wasn't going on last, and they put them on first, and it was a quick match. And then kind of Seth Rollins kind of dipped out and wasn't doing that well. So they dropped Brock Lesnar, cashing his money in the bank. And then they kind of reheated the storyline and then gave him that victory, which I think was a much better victory, I think, at SummerSlam that year. I think they're going to do the same thing with Drew McIntyre. They want to take the belt off of him, and they want to give him a win in front of the crowds. So this could be a good mechanism. Drop the belt to Randy Orton, and there was the fly again. Drop the belt to Randy Orton, and then give him a real victory in front of the fans. But the twist is, I believe, y'all can check the video on this. I don't know what the timestamp is. Right around the 11-minute mark. You can check it. I think Otis is going to cash in on Randy Orton after he wins the belt from Drew McIntyre. Now, that would be crazy, right? That would be crazy. And you'd be thinking, like, why would they drop it to him? I'm going to remind you all, I think it was Money in the Bank. Actually, yeah, it was Money in the Bank last year. Bayley wins the women's Money in the Bank and then goes on. It's Charlotte versus Becky. I think it was Charlotte versus Becky. It was back when she was Becky 2 belts. And Becky dropped the belt to Charlotte, and then Bayley, fly just went by, Bayley immediately cashed in her Money in the Bank right after Charlotte won the belt. So Charlotte got another championship on her belt, even though it was for just a few minutes. I think the exact same thing can happen tonight. That protects Randy Orton because he'll be beaten up from Hell in the Cell. It protects Drew McIntyre, gives him that victory later on. And for the love of God, we get to see Otis cash in that belt, or cash in that briefcase and win the belt. Now, do I agree on Otis being the best WWE champion? Not really. But it will be fun. We need something fun. And when Roman Reigns came out at, SummerSlam, when he came out, you'll never see it coming. And he beat up The Fiend. He beat up Braun Strowman. That's what I loved. And there's the fly, man. He's just hanging out with us tonight. That's what I loved, and I think I didn't see it coming. I think this would be something genuinely. So that's my prediction. Randy Orton beats Drew McIntyre inside Hell in a Cell, but he's so beat up from a hellacious match. Otis comes out, cashes in Money in the Bank, and takes the WWE Championship off Randy Orton. Now, finally, let's get into, like I said, I don't think it's going to be the main event, but I think it's the one that I think everyone can agree has at least the most story, okay? The Sasha Banks versus Bayley for the SmackDown Women's Championship inside Hell in a Cell. They have been building this story up for 6 months. And when they put these video packages together, you'll be able to see all the nuances that Sasha and Bayley put into their performance over the last 6 months. And the empty arena stuff, and then going into the Thunderdome. And those two have been the ones who have come out of this the best. There's some people who have not been able to rise to the top with the empty arenas, but I can tell you right now, Sasha and Bayley have rose to the top with this environment that they've had to exist in, and now we get to see them in Hell in a Cell. First off, let me tell you what I love about the match. I love the fact that it's a long-term storyline. I will take any long-term storyline in WWE. I take that back. That Lana, Bobby Lashley stuff was trash. That was pretty long-term. They kept it going for a few months, but that wasn't real long-term. Really, WWE is so bad at long-term storytelling that anytime something really genuine pops up, it's fantastic. And obviously, Sasha and Bayley have been awesome in this role as teammates, as competitors, as jealousy, all the different emotions flowing through. And watching them do this in Hell in a Cell is going to be fantastic. What I hate about the match is nothing. I don't hate anything about the match. I think this is exactly where it's going to be. I think they shouldn't have done the whole jump the gun by having it on SmackDown. They had announced it was supposed to be on SmackDown. Obviously, it didn't happen. We all knew it was going to happen. We knew that this was not a TV-worthy match. This is a pay-per-view match. So they handled it. They had a good match. And now here we are. Hell in a Cell. They're going to do it in the Hell in a Cell. My prediction, though, is that Bayley is going to win and retain her SmackDown Women's Championship. And I think they're going to put on a banger. I think they're going to put on a banger of a match, and they're going to beat the shit out of each other. And I want to see Bayley cheat. I want to see her be dubious, and I want to see her do everything she's supposed to do to keep that belt. And I want to see Sasha Banks broken after this. I want to see her come out broken. And potentially, she comes out, she loses, she doesn't win the belt, which Sasha always wins at pay-per-views, or pretty much. And then we go on to some type of redemption story arc where I think she can win the Rumble. We get to January and she wins the Rumble, or any other kind of mechanism that puts her in a position to challenge Bayley again at WrestleMania. And I think this is a WrestleMania worthy match. And yeah, I think Bayley should keep the belt all the way to WrestleMania. I don't think there's any woman on SmackDown worthy enough of holding that belt. It's just they're not there. The pushes aren't happening. Right now, Bayley is the best woman on that roster to be the champion. And Sasha Banks is the best woman to take that belt off of her. So that's what I think. Bayley's going to win, take the belt on to WrestleMania, and Sasha's somehow going to get in the WrestleMania, most likely the Rumble. I think Sasha Banks winning the Royal Rumble will be fantastic. Hopefully we got crowds for the Royal Rumble. Hopefully that works that way. But yeah, so that's my predictions for the Hell in a Cell 2020. Only 5 matches. I'm a big fan of Hell in a Cell. Anytime they put that giant cage, I don't care if it's red or silver, whatever. Anytime they dump that giant cage on top of a ring and they put some competitors inside of it, I get excited. I'm going to order my pizza and I'm going to be right there. 5 matches? We'll find out. Whatever. Probably some more will be added on, pre-show matches, but whatever. But that is my rundown of Hell in a Cell 2020. Check me out on Instagram. You can find me on Instagram at I Hate Gerge Brooms. That is at I Hate Gerge Brooms. Please, also while you're here, this is new. I've never done this before. I want to keep doing it. If you like the content, I'm going to try my best. Hit like, hit subscribe, drop a comment, let me know. Tell me I suck. Tell me you don't like my pops. Tell me you don't like my new pops that I got. The Infinity Warbs pops that just came out, the Walgreens exclusives. But please give me some feedback. I look forward to your shit talking as well. Like, subscribe, follow me on Instagram at I Hate Gerge Brooms. And till next time, we'll see you on the next episode of From the Top Rope. Thanks, y'all.